Are you tired of feeling uncomfortable in your social interactions, in your conversations? Maybe you just wish you could be more confident, feel like you could just come across better in your conversations. Maybe you find yourself stumbling over words often and just feel like you just struggle to appear the way that you know you can come across in your conversations. Well, guess what? You are in luck, because in this video, I'm gonna give you my top 5 tips to help you appear more confident and feel more confident in your conversations. First off, thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. And if you like tips that are gonna help you live better every single day, and you like a little bit of flair with some brain hacking, then make sure you subscribe to this channel, because we got more tips coming to you on a regular basis that are gonna help you live better, help you create a stronger, better mind, and get the life that you really want. All right, so let's get into tip number 1 here, which is to slow down. Now here's the reality. You're going into a date, you're going into a business meeting, a networking meeting, you're gonna feel nervous. Everybody does, that's okay. The problem is, for many of us, we let those nerves sort of take over our brain, and then all of a sudden we're talking faster because we have so many things going on in our mind, and all of a sudden we can't slow them down, and all of a sudden we're talking too fast and people can't quite understand what we're saying. Take a deep breath and slow down. So anytime I'm in a business meeting, or I'm going networking, or I'm meeting new people for the first time that are maybe more important people, then the first thing that I'm always thinking about is slow and smooth. I just want to force myself to talk maybe a little bit slower than I normally talk, and it helps things come out smooth. The first thing I'm always thinking about anytime I'm in a new conversation, or anytime I feel like I'm starting to get nervous in the conversation, you start to feel your hands sweating a little bit, is I'm trying to slow everything down just a little bit. Now, to you, it might feel like it's going to be ages that you're talking, but to the other person, it's going to feel like you're talking normal, you're talking more confidently, and because you're speaking slower, people can really pay attention to what you're actually saying. All right, tip number 2 is don't rush to speak. And again, this one comes down to our nerves. And when we're listening to somebody on the other side, a lot of times our brain is already starting to come up with the response that we want to say, or the thing that we want to say. And a lot of times as the other person's talking, we're thinking to ourselves, because I've done this too, I don't want to forget what I want to say. So as soon as they stop, I'm going to go and I'm going to say exactly what I want to say. It's going to be so powerful. They're going to be like, oh my God, Brady, that was amazing. Oh my gosh. Now you want to calm that response a little bit, take a deep breath. So once they're finished, you take a little bit of a pause, and then you go into speaking. Nothing's worse than as soon as they're done speaking, you immediately jab in, you go in, you start talking, and sometimes you may even be cutting them off at a certain point, because they might not even be done with their point. So by giving that little buffer after the person's done speaking, it's gonna, 1, ensure that they are actually done with their conversation, and 2, it's going to ensure that you know exactly what you're gonna say, and this is really gonna help you when it comes to step 3, which is probably the most important one for many of you. So if you do these first 2 steps right, this is really gonna set you up really well for step number 3, which is a question I get all the time, which is, how do I eliminate the filler words? The things like, you do these things when you're in conversation. Well, and these are the filler words that you insert while your brain's processing. And a lot of times that's because your brain hasn't quite figured out what it wants to say, so it's inserting filler words so it doesn't make you feel as vulnerable or as uncomfortable. So your brain thinks, well, as long as I get something out there, I'll figure out what to say after that. And this becomes a habit, this becomes a pattern, and it needs to be unwound. And one of the tricks that you can use to help you over time get better and better at using less of these filler words is to use those first 2 steps. And when you're using those first 2 steps, when you're talking slower, giving your brain a chance to catch up, calming the nerve response, but also giving yourself that time before you speak, it's going to ensure that you know, 1, exactly what you're going to say. You're going to say it the right way, so it's going to help calm your nerves. And over time, as you're kind of forcing yourself to not use these filler words, you're really going to start noticing that it becomes more of a habit. You're not going to be rushing into conversations, and those filler words are just not going to be there as much anymore because you've trained them out of your wiring pattern as a response mechanism. All right, tip number 4 is have upright posture. So do yourself a favor, pull those shoulders back, sit up nice and tall, bring the chest up a little bit. I always think of a kite that's pulling a string that's attached to your body, that's pulling you upwards like this. And you're sitting up nice and tall like this, like you're a Roman pillar. You know, that's how I think of it when it comes to having that confident posture. But here's the important thing to consider. A large majority of communication is nonverbal. meaning that a lot of what you say is more the context, not the content. It's more about how you look and how you appear versus what exactly you are saying. People are picking up so much more on the way you say things and how you're positioned versus what the actual details and the words that you are choosing. So many of us get wrapped up in the content. We get wrapped up in what we're saying and not so much how we're saying it. So for example, if I was just gonna say, I'm gonna go to the store, or even, would you like to work together? That sounds a lot different than, hey, I'm gonna go to the store. Would you like to work together? Just by the body position, it just comes across differently. And what you're gonna notice is as you force yourself and train yourself into having this upright posture, you're gonna notice that your tone is gonna change, your energy is gonna change, you're gonna even feel different. Your brain's gonna start picking up on that posture and go, well, if the body position says I'm confident, let's add that wire into our brain as well. And that's a powerful thing that I've learned over the years is the taller, the more better posture that I put myself into, it starts to actually train my brain to actually act that way as well. So it's a really simple way to start acting and appearing more confident and feeling more confident in your conversations. And tip number 5, and this is really, really important, is to smile. Have a smile on. A lot of times if you're nervous in your conversations and you feel like you just can't quite get the confidence that you want, sometimes we get so much into our own heads we don't actually realize what's going on out here on our face. And a lot of times you're so interested in your conversation you could have one of these going on. And you look like a zombie. You look like a serial killer. So what you want to do is you want to focus more on just responding to people. You know, paying attention, obviously actively listening, but you also want to make sure you're smiling as you're talking. It presents a whole new energy as you're talking. If I'm sitting here talking to you and I have more of a stern face and I'm just trying to say, here's how you can be more confident, it's just too serious, right? Puts people off. But when you want to appear more confident people have this just natural smile that comes across their face. So when you're in your conversations, you just have this glow about you because a smile really carries so much communication of itself of confidence, happiness, and joy. So a really simple way to do that is just to smile a little bit more. And that's an easy way to start appearing more confident in your conversations. Now be aware, these tips do take time, practice, repetition to get better at them. But I'll be honest, the first time you do this, you're probably even gonna notice a difference even in that first experience with it. And as you do it over and over and over in little conversations that you have to even bigger, more important conversations that you wanna have, whether that's a date, first date, or whether that's a business meeting, you're gonna start noticing that just becomes habit for you. It starts to go on autopilot and it becomes easy to appear confident in your conversations. And that's gonna carry over in so many aspects of your life. But the important thing to remember is it's going to take time, repetition, and consistency. So before you go into that next conversation where you want to appear more confident, just remember these tips, walk through this video again, watch this YouTube video again, and that'll just kind of be your prepper. So before you go into those conversations, you're ready to rock and roll, ready to crush it. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. And if you did enjoy this video, found it useful and beneficial for you, make sure you click that thumbs up button down there because that just helps people realize that this is a really good and helpful video for them. And if you like videos that are gonna help you live better, help you with self-improvement, self-growth, personal development, then make sure you click that red subscribe button down there because we got tons more helpful videos coming your way that are gonna help you live better. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next episode.